This is KUTV Primetime News with Irene Mwangi.
Welcome back. Now it is that time for our discussion looking into Ruto Raila Alliance. Is it workable? Will it work out? It has been a situation that has been discussed along the political arena. Joining us tonight is Mr. Edwin Kigole, who is a political analyst, joining us live via Zoom. Many thanks indeed, Mr. Kigole, for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much, Irene, and I'm happy to join you tonight and our viewers.
All right. Now, discussing the issue of Ruto Raila Alliance, it is something that was precipitated by the meeting we saw on Friday between Deputy President William Ruto and Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya in Masai Mara. Now, from where you sit, do you think it was a planned meeting, or is it a situation of chance where these two particular leaders met in that particular meeting in Masai Mara?
I think Deputy President and His Excellency Governor Oparanya are too senior to just bump into each other. This must have been a very well planned and premeditated meeting. And you remember, Irene, the last time we had a discussion, I hinted that something in politics where there are no mistakes in politics. When people meet, when they talk about something, even if they say I was quoted out of context, but the truth or the fact remains, this thing has been said or the action has been done. So we expect to see a lot of movement, a lot of meetings, a lot of alignments, realignments, and well, in politics, again, nothing is impossible. It is very possible and very likely for His Excellency William Ruto and Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga to find a coalition of convenience, not because they love each other, but because the situation dictates that they meet and form a government by coming together to make an alliance, because they look at the prevailing situation and they look at their chances of winning when they are separate and against them winning when they are together. And of course, when they are together, it's a formidable force. And I do not know which force can trump Raila Ruto Alliance. But then again, that is something to do with time as days keep moving. And even Governor Oparanya said that ODM is looking for new alliances, and the alliance is going to come up with is an alliance that will form the next government. Because since 2007, Raila Odinga has been trying to, secure the leadership of this country, but to date, nothing has happened to that effect. So I think this could be an opportune moment for them to critically analyze the options available. And if William Ruto provides the best possible scenario, then that's what is going to work.
All right. Now, we do know that Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya is the deputy party leader of ODM party. But do you think if Odinga really wanted to have talks with Deputy President William Ruto, Oparanya will have been the man to send for that particular conversation? Many have said that close allies to Odinga could mostly be Oburu Odinga, who is not only a political ally but a family member. Do you think really Oparanya will have been the man to have been sent by Odinga for that particular meeting, since it is a crucial meeting between two leaders who are sort of enemies?
Well, Oburu Odinga would be too direct, and he looks an end already. And he would put some sort of political underpinning that would not help much the Prime Minister. But when you send somebody of the caliber and stature of Governor Oparanya, you're leaving tongues wagging and people guessing. That Governor Oparanya has hinted at the possibility of him running for president. And the question is Governor Oparanya going to negotiate with William Ruto for Oparanya-Ruto Alliance, or is negotiating on behalf of Raila Odinga? You see, it is not direct to say that Raila Odinga has sent Governor Oparanya as an emissary, because we can say maybe Oparanya is offering his candidature also, or his option to William Ruto, and find if they can work together. But also on the hindsight, one can say Governor Oparanya, as the deputy party leader of ODM, is acting on tacit instruction from Raila Odinga. So Governor Oparanya was the best person to send, because we cannot clearly or directly say he has gone to negotiate for an alliance with William Ruto, because we can also say Governor Oparanya has gone perhaps to negotiate with William Ruto so that maybe he's offered the deputy party leader position or deputy president position.
All right. I don't know if you've been following on the recent sentiments that have been made by Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya. I think 2 weeks ago, when President Uhuru Kenyatta set out new measures to curtail the spread of coronavirus, Oparanya was quick to point out that the money that has been allocated for the BBI and the referendum process should be put into COVID-19 management here in the country. And now we are seeing him with Deputy President William Ruto. Do you think this particular move is not for ODM party and Raila Odinga, but for Oparanya himself?
Well, I lost you for a few seconds. I'm hoping I got your question correctly. It is very hard to call, Irene, because Governor Oparanya is a second-term governor. And we already hear people say he's angling for the Butere parliamentary seat. What does that say? If that is the case, then perhaps Governor Oparanya is lining himself for deputy prime minister. Perhaps, as we've seen, some people talk in the news media and pundits continuing to argue in the same direction. But then again, when Oparanya, a senior member of ODM, is going to meet the deputy president, an arch rival of Right Honorable Raila Odinga, if he's acting on behalf of ODM, then he has the full and direct blessings of Raila Odinga. If he was acting on his own, right now we could be talking about his removal from the party, maybe from his position in the party. But you'll understand, nobody has publicly come out to, like speak negatively about the meeting, because we know some characters in ODM who would not spare a minute to dismiss and try to, paint as a mission in futility such a move. Because how do you go to negotiate with my arch rival when I'm your boss and you've not consulted me? If you want to leave my party, then you leave my party and negotiate for your own interest. But we've seen Raila Odinga has not come out clearly to say I condemn or I disagree, or just saying it is Oparanya'S own mission. So we strongly believe that there is something in the offing, and it is a matter of time, because 2022 is next year. Right now we are in April. This is the time negotiations are going on, and Right Honorable Raila Odinga knows that BBI is almost passing. And he has categorically and clearly stated that once BBI has passed, once BBI has exhausted the legislative procedure, of course, and Parliament is going to sit, once this document is out of Parliament, then it is back to the people. And when it goes to the people for voting or endorsement, then we are talking about 2022, because Raila Odinga has firmly and consistently dissuaded himself and even said in the public that I do not want to talk about succession politics, but I want to focus on the passing of BBI because of its provision to the Kenyans. But then again, we cannot sleep until this document has been passed so that we start moving around and talking to people, because while the sun is shining, we need to start making hay. And when we see people of the caliber and stature of Governor Oparanya going out there, we know they are, top allies of Baba, and perhaps they are briefing Baba on, like I sent you here, so what did the person say, and is it a better offering? Maybe they met Ruto, and Ruto said, these are the policies I'm advancing, and maybe Raila Odinga sent Oparanya and said, give these policies to William Ruto and find out if they can coalesce or marry, if our policies can go hand in hand with these policies for the country. If they go hand in hand, then can we talk about an arrangement? What sort of arrangement do we have? We have Raila as the president who will serve as a one-term president, and then William Ruto to serve as prime minister, Governor Oparanya deputy prime minister. We have the option of Governor Joho. We have so many people, like we've seen even others tout, somebody like Martha Karua, which we can't really say for sure. There'll be many options coming in. Jury, we have great leaders also in central Kenya who are also coming up. You see, people like even Mwangi wa Iria, they're coming up and laying a claim. But then again, we'll see how this plays, because in the BBI document, you see, this document will serve every politician, whether you're running for president or not. Because if you're running for president, and that's why, like you've seen Deputy President William Ruto not come out clearly and say vote no for BBI, because he knows if, or in the event he wins this presidential election in 2022, and BBI Kenyans will have passed it, then he'll have to work with what Kenyans have approved, and that would mean he is the president, and then he has a prime minister. The president will have perhaps 2 deputies, and prime minister two deputies. So those are positions to be filled. And this is going to get even very interesting, Irene, in the coming days. And the politics of alignment and realignment has just started. And let us see what option Raila Odinga is coming up on the table, and what move will William Ruto make in terms of getting a deputy president, and even in terms of filling that position of prime minister, because we know Kenyans are going to pass BBI, and when it passes, then you have to work with what Kenyans have passed. And that is something that William Ruto is fully aware, and I know he's preparing for life with BBI or life without BBI, but most likely, holding all factors constant, I know William Ruto is planning life with BBI.
All right, now, looking into the Ruto Raila Alliance, what does it portend to President Uhuru Kenyatta? A day after Oparanya met with Ruto, it was assumed that there was a meeting in State House yesterday evening. Whether it was pre-planned or it was an abrupt meeting, it shows that it created jitters. The meeting between Oparanya and Ruto created jitters to the point of Raila and Uhuru having that particular meeting. Now, do you think the Ruto Raila Alliance is a blessing or a curse to the BBI process, given that these 2 leaders are quite ambitious and they can decide to throw the BBI process out of the window and fight for their own political survival and interest?
Well, sometimes we don't plan for meetings. Sometimes meetings happen because of the developments of the day. Now, I am a politician. I'm intending to run for a parliamentary seat, and my opponent is having a meeting with somebody I angling for. So that makes me call for an urgent meeting to discuss the developments of the day. So sometimes in politics, you don't plan for these things. They happen because other things are happening. So in meetings, many factors dictate the agenda. Perhaps, nobody knew Governor Oparanya was going to meet William Ruto, and they met. So that would mean the other political arrangements and factions will have to meet and strategize that they want to put into context the meeting between Oparanya and Ruto. Is it Raila in Oparanya meeting or trying to talk to William Ruto so that they can have a coalition, or it is just Oparanya himself talking to William Ruto? So there are different factors to consider. And when we see reactions, meetings, because many pundits have been alluding to the fact that, or alluding that, like the One Kenya Alliance, these of Mudavadi, Kalonzo, Weta, and company, perhaps they've got the presidential blessing. But then again, those are just people talking. We will get clearer details. But then again, it is not just about getting a lot of people together, but rather the substance they bring on the table. When you talk about Mudavadi, what political substance is he bringing on the table? When you talk about Gideon Moi in Rift Valley, can he command Rift Valley? When we talk about Kalonzo Musyoka, can he command Ukambani, the region we perceive to be like his biggest support base? So when we put these people together, the likes of Wetangula, and we've seen Raila Odinga with Mukisa Kitui on several occasions. So political analysts and pundits will ask, what is the likely reason for these meetings? So if they are meeting to talk about Kenya in BBI, we don't know. If they are meeting to talk about succession politics, it will become clearer in the coming days. But I would say, Irene, that as a president, and I know President Kenyatta is thinking about this, who is the person going to take over from him? Because he wants his legacy to be upheld. Look at what President Donald Trump did to Obama legacy. He came and shut down Obama's initiatives, like healthcare, Obamacare was repealed, and a lot of things were done to that legacy project. And President Kenyatta has underpinned his final days on legendary road network infrastructure, and you can walk around Nairobi and you can be able to see. And this legendary infrastructure, President Kenyatta is also looking at the fact that who is going to take over from me? What will they do? So if then these are the considerations we are making, then of course it is important to also think about the person who is going to take over from you. If, as Raila has been seen to be closer to President Uhuru Kenyatta in his second term, then politically speaking, President Kenyatta would be happy if Raila Odinga took over the reins of government. But then again, things can change in politics. Sure. A day in politics, as politicians say, is just a lot more days, because today we could be talking, Irene could be my political ally, and tomorrow things have changed and we are opponents. So in politics, nothing is ever constant, and there are no permanent enemies or friends. We could be friends right now, but because of interests, conflicting interests, then we have to be on opposite camps. So it's an interesting field to be in and also to analyze.
All right. Now, finally, is it a healthy time for transfer in terms of politics, or is it too soon? Because many had anticipated that after BBI is when we'll be having the alliances, but right now we are seeing political interest charged, especially the presidential ones. Do you think the window for transfer politics is quite open, and is it quite healthy at this particular time and sustainable?
That's a very interesting question, Irene, and I must say that many Kenyans love politics. We love to politic a lot. And in Kenya, there is no closed window and open window for political transfer. Every day in politics is a political opportunity. And you will realize that right now, the people who are perceived to be pro-William Ruto in Parliament, many of them have lost their like parliamentary positions in terms of leadership. And look at ODM now. You would not think or expect that you would see ODM members having so many parliamentary leadership positions as they are now. That should tell you that things can change very easily. And because there is never a defined time for transfer, just that at this particular point in time, it is heightened and it is open. In those other times, it is a little bit, I would say concealed. So moving forward, we are going to see increased activities politically, and we are going to see people jump ship, and many people now coming out to speak more openly and frankly, because you realize, Irene, that many politicians have been holding their horses for fear of perhaps victimization or such a thing, or they just don't want to be on the wrong side. So they want to remain silent and wait to a particular time when they can fear no consequence in terms of political. But then again, moving forward, the defining challenge of the time is how to create and sustain economic turnaround, growth and development. And this, as I would ask Kenyans, is that as they head into 2022, that member of parliament that they'll be voting for, the MCA, the governor, the senator, the women rep, let there be clear-cut choices and let the future of their children, sons and daughters count. Because if we make a mistake as Kenyans in this coming election, we will live to regret. The state of our economy is not strong. Look at the number of people who've lost jobs. Look at the global financial economy. This, Irene, can tell you that we need pragmatic and leaders who can meet the threats of the future and not keep grasping at the ideas of the past. Because if we do not fail to make hard choices, then we will live to regret the missed opportunities.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Edwin Kigole, for giving us a perspective concerning the issue of Ruto Raila Alliance and whether it will be really a formidable alliance come 2022 general elections.
Thank you.
All right. We are taking a short break. We'll be back with more in what is happening in the world of sports. Do stay tuned.